Hello, ladies and gents. My name is John Kelly, and this is the Mediocre Modeler. Today's session, we're going to be having a look at a Studio Ghibli model made by Bandai. This is it. So it's a kind of an anime. It's an anime model, if you like. Now, if you haven't seen Studio Ghibli before, I'd definitely go and check them out. It is there's a whole series of films. This one's from about 1985. 1986, and it follows these two characters. Pazu is a young lad, and he meets this lass called Sheeta, and it's a bit of a steampunk kind of thing. You know, it's got airships in there. It's got a lot of copper pipe and stuff like that, and it's quite dramatic. The film itself is called Laputa Castle in the Sky. Now, I have built a couple of these models before. This is one of the gunships from. It's a different film. This one's from. Hello, what's happened here? This one is from Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, but you know they are quite nice little kits, and I have done one before from Castle in the Sky. So one of the reasons for doing it is, I mean, I've got. I guess like we all have, you know, I've got loads of shelf queens that are still hanging around, which one's lost a wheel. They go hunting for that. Vampire wheel disappeared. Shelf queens, what I'm going to try and do over, it's 2026, second week of January, is I'm going to try and build one of these models every month. So this is going to be my first attempt this year for 2026. So this is it. This is how it comes in the box. The box is quite nice. The artwork on it. We've got two different sort of styles of artwork. We've got this is kind of taken from the film type artwork, and then that's actually a model of the picture of the model, built up model. 2004 mold apparently, and I think it's a 1/20th scale, if memory serves correct. Yeah, there we go, 1/20th scale. So I think this is Japanese. Apologies for my lack of linguistics, but I think it's Japanese. There's a little Studio Ghibli logo as well. On one edge of the box, we've got some nice elevations. So that's the front view, and it really is a beautiful copper colour. The chances of a mediocre modeler getting anywhere close to that are going to be pretty limited. I've had most success in terms of those kind of colours with Alclad. So I'll probably have a go with a bit of Alclad over a dark base, but has to be decided, I suppose. Rear view or rear side view. And then this is I don't know what we call it really, but I'm going to call it a cockpit. To be honest, it looks like that's why I say it's a bit of a steampunky movie. This looks like what do they call it? The footplate of a train. And you know, there's some quite nice details in there. I mean, I can't remember how realistic they are in comparison to the film. As Pazu, and there's Sheeta. And this is just a little. It's on the front there. It's just a little skull symbol which comes as a decal. So yeah, that is it. Technically, it says there's. You can't see that, but there you go. It does say that there's no glue required, and that is correct. You can certainly put it together without any glue, but it won't look like that. So I will be using glue for sure. Well, let's have a little look in the box. Like I say, it's not a complete new box opening. I have had a peek in here before, but let's see what we've got. Well, first off, we've got a coupon from Japan Online Hobby Store. That'll be out of date, so I'm not going to be looking at that. We've got the instruction booklet. It's going to be a pretty simple build. This page 1 identifies the four sprues, and you can see this one down here. That's the figures, and then how many stages have we got? We've got 9 stages, haven't we, there? So there's 8 stages on those couple of pages. I mean, you know, they're not massively detailed, are they, in terms of putting this thing together. And then the last stage is just whacking it onto its stand. So, yeah, all well and good. I'm not anticipating any problems there. I've seen a couple of YouTubers who've done some work on these. You know, they've added lights to them and that kind of stuff. But like I say, this is a mediocre modeler, not the highly experienced modeler. So on the back of it, this is quite nice again. A little bit of sort of film canon, if you like. This is the interior of. You can see that this is the Flaptter. I guess it's like a dune ornithopter, isn't it? And this is how it all works: spring-loaded bellows, all that kind of stuff. You don't get any of that with it, none of it at all. I mean, again, a better modeler than me will probably scratch build all those interiors, but I'm certainly not going to be doing that. It doesn't come. This is a seatbelt by the looks of it. It doesn't come with that. Might think about that. That shouldn't be too difficult to add on. And then on the inside of that is the painting guide. Let's get that in the centre. There we go. Again, it is a lovely colour. Whoever did this did a really good job of it. It's a beautiful colour. Yeah, rear side sort of elevation there. And there's the two characters, Pezzo and Shita. Colour guide, all in Japanese, I think. Can't read any of it, so I'll just go with what I think it's looking like. Particularly where you got these 50-50 blends, and I can't see these. Although these colours are mentioned, I can't see them called out anywhere at all. So I don't know. I'll just go with best guess. And then a decal guide. The decals are for the eyeballs, and if there's anyone who can't paint eyeballs, it's me. It saved my life, so they'll be quite useful. And then, yeah, that last little decal goes on the hood, a little hood mount. So pretty straightforward. Not anticipating any problems with that lot. So, what's in the box? Here we have the first sprue. This is the main body. This is the engine cowling, if you like. So all the gubbins which drive the Flapters go in here. But like I say, it's you don't get any of that. You could scratch build it, but you won't see it. However, you have got these vents down the side there, and you can definitely see through them. So I guess one option is to put a box there, or I've got a couple of engine bits where you could lob them in. Just put just stick a few bits and bobs in there to make it look as though there's at least some interior. Thinking you could always sort of etch out a panel there, and no, I'm not doing any of that. So that's kind of the main bit. These are the Flapters. This is where these are the attachment points to the Flapters, and these bits kind of sort of go around here and there. That's where they sit. The wings coming out this way. So yeah, it's actually quite nice moulding. It's got good panel lines in it, and you got a few good sets of rivets. So they'll polish up all right. I'm pretty sure they'll come out looking pucker. I've got 3 in this one. I don't think how they originally came, but this is the the footplate of the train, if you like. So sprue A1. You got a couple of handrails here. These are the handrails, stop people falling off the edge. And like I say, this is a footplate, and this does look like a steam box, and actually kind of what do they call it? Not an actuator, but on a train. Again, I've probably got better ones of those, which from old kits. I suppose you could whip them off with a razor, and these are all a little bit kind of monolithic, but I'm not really into that super detail. I like to build models, otherwise you never get finished. And this is quite nice. Again, you got some quite nice detail in there. The dials are pretty good. These will pop out all right with a dry brush. And these I'm guessing items 2 and items 3. These look like tillers, or if you're a pod racer, then the sort of the accelerators for the pods. Yeah, I'm not sure really. Accelerators or tillers or what have you, but that's what they're looking to be. Next sprue, you've got the bonnet, if you like, the front engine housing. There's the little skull. Now you do get a decal for that, so I don't know why. I suppose you put the decal on, obviously, but you could. I think you could. Even I could paint that pretty easily. That's the. I don't know what I'm going to call that. A chassis. Again, you can see the mounting points there for the wings. Small set at the back, large set at the front. They're going to pop out there. Another couple of doodads. By the looks of it, they're going to lug in there somewhere. That is the foot plate. That's what we found on there. And again, we've got a brake. I don't know what these pedals are, brake and accelerator, or some kind of flight control panels. And they're pretty monolithic. You could probably whip those off easy enough and put a little bit of photo etch plate on it just to make it a little bit of interest if you wanted to. That's the interior radiator that goes sort of in here. And the exterior, like the old Edsel grills, that buttons up on the front. Like I say, you can snap. It is a snap kit, so they do lug in quite well. But what I've found with other kits is it's a bit too tight. So when you're trying to butt stuff together, you really can't get it all the way in, and it ends up leaving a bit of a seam. So what I've done in the past is I tend to get me cutters, my pliers, and I just snip it a little bit, opens it up, and that allows it to go flat. There's your stand, reminiscent of the old sort of Airfix type stuff, but this is quite nice. This is your canopy. Obviously I'll have to mask that, and I reckon, let's see if we can get sort of a better shot of it. I reckon that's pretty good. That's pretty clear. I can read all the writing through that quite nicely. They've done a pretty good job on that. I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to mess it up, get a big glue stained fingerprint on it, or something along those lines. And the other interesting bit of kit is this blaster here. This is Pezzo, the lads' Canon. There you go, you can see it now. And it is massive, and you can see it in comparison to the grill. But again, it's not very well detailed. It does need a little bit of sort of tidying up. He has it on a sling, so that needs doing, and there's zero barrel opening, so I'll open that up. Trigger mechanism is a bit naff as well, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good in terms of its basicness, if you like. Then last sprue, sprue C is the figures, and again, they're not super detailed, but this is an anime character, so for me that feeds into my strengths. I'm not going to be layering paint on because I'm absolutely rubbish at that. I'll just be getting what I can on it. But it does have folds. It does have creases in there, so you can put your highlights on and your shadows and all that kind of stuff. And the faces aren't bad. They're not. They're all right. I'll be happy enough with that. In fact, just looking at them just makes me want to get them together and start building them, just to see what they're like. Heads coming in halves with add-on ponytails. They've done the split there on the band, which is quite useful because there'll almost certainly be a seam line there. Yeah, so they're the figures. Nice enough. What else have we got in here? Let's fish this out. The decals, as I say, there's nothing too complicated there. We've got 3 sets of eyes for each figure. I'm guessing because they know I'm putting this together, so the chances of me messing that up at least once are reasonably high. But messing up 3 times is unlikely even for me, so I should get there. And then the little skull motif which goes on the front, on the bonnet, on the hood. That's there as well. Like I say, you could probably paint that reasonably easy, but I'll have a little look. And then last but not least, these are, I don't know what you're going to call them, flaps, flapters, These are the bits which propel the aircraft, if it's an aircraft. And like I say, you've got a big set and you've got a smaller set, and these are the things which add the propulsion. So they sit on either side of the fuselage. You can't see them very well there, but if I just catch it in the light, now you can see the kind of, they are tinted. It's not completely see-through. It's got a very, very kind of pale smoky blue about it. But my initial thoughts for that are to paint it. I'll have to have a go on a bit of scrap see-through sheet first, but here we go. I've got some iridescent paints which I have used on a different project. It was on another, I think it was a fine mould, not a Bandai, but it was another Ghibli, a Ghibli build. So in here, they're not colour shifting paints, definitely not, but they're iridescent, so blue flash. And what I thought I might try and do is kind of have a blended approach, darker edge with a lighter, but who knows, we'll have a little cross that bridge when we come to it. So what we got the flaps, we got the we got the figures, and we've got kind of 2.5, I suppose, other sprues, which is essentially the main body of the kit, and what we're going to call it, the footplate. Yeah, so that's that. I think all in all, it's a nice little kit. It's not going to be a complicated build. I mean, even I should be able to knock that out really in a couple of hours. But you never know. There doesn't look as though there's going to be a lot of cleanup. There's no flash on any of the sprues, so I doubt there's going to be much cleanup. But I guess it just depends on whether or not you want to just put a little bit of extra detail into it. I will be, but it's not going to be much. I'll be adding a strap on the blaster and those kind of things. So that's the Bandai Flaptter. This is going to be build number 1 of 2026. The shelf queens, which are still sat up there, that they can wait a bit longer. The 2 I do want to finish though is I do want to get my vampire done. That's been a horrible kit. I've hated it. Won't be doing one of those again. It's the Airfix 148th Vampire F3, which I didn't enjoy. And I've got a Rubicon Models Tiger 2 on the bench, which I want to get finished as well. So I suppose we should put some focus on those. Right, folks, thanks for tuning in. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, that obviously always feeds the algorithm, which would be really appreciated. And I'll sign off for now, and hopefully I'll see you at the next one, which is probably going to be the build of the Flaptter. Thanks, and see you soon.